Now, I've often said here on the show that we talk a lot about heritage and memories and nostalgia, and there's nothing wrong with that, is there? I mean, where it's always good to look back, it's always good to think, was it better previously? And of course, when we do look back, there's good and bad things about everything, isn't there? People talk about the good old days, and then you remember, of course, to go outside, if you know what I mean, to spend a penny in the freezing weather wasn't exactly luxurious or glamorous. But of course, we only really retain the memories that we truly like. But more and more and more, we're just seeing really an eradication of our wonderful heritage. And this latest story I wanted to share with you simply because it holds so many memories for so many people and was a sort of pivotal moment for so many stars visiting that particular area. As ever, let me explain. We're good to see you today. Thank you so much for taking the time out to join me. Memories are a good thing, aren't they? Good morning or good evening, whatever you're doing, do go to bed, be safe. If you get up, have a lovely day as ever. But memories, I think, are a good thing. You can sort of hear a record, see a picture. It sort of jogs your memory in a wonderful way and can actually get you off any problems you've got. If you're thinking about something a little bit, whatever's happening in the 21st century, you get the picture. So it was quite sad to think about this, because when you look at this particular wonderful seaside resort, of many people have many fond memories. We're talking about Blackpool in Lancashire. Now, one of the things that Blackpool really was famous for, apart from the wonderful Blackpool Tower, the Tower Ballroom and so many other great buildings that have sadly been wiped away in the quest, of course, to modernise things, well, was this, the Heritage Tram, or the original tram as they were called. Now, the trams became a focal part ever since the resort became a major place to go and visit in the 1800s. And a ride on a Blackpool tram was indeed absolutely spectacular. So much so that in 1953, when Frank Sinatra was playing at the Opera House Theatre in the town, this is sort of From Here to Eternity, he was really keen about actually, how do you buy one of those things? He couldn't believe it, that it was sailing past his sort of hotel window. He thought this was fabulous, as did, of course, the American British-born superstar Bob Hope. Jayne Mansfield turned on the Blackpool lights in 1959 and proceeded to go on the back of a tram to let the world know that she was there in the only way that Jayne Mansfield could. And of course, Marlene Dietrich, also appearing at a Sunday concert there, said she couldn't leave without a ride at the Tower or indeed a trip on a tram. But now the Heritage Group that runs that particular line, which comes out a few times a year to take those very distinctive livery green and cream original trams, well, they've decided they can't afford it anymore. It's not practical, there's no space, it's difficult to keep the maintenance, the usual things, right? Now, naturally, this has created uproar. As I say, you may not know this, but the trams actually are a significant part of the heritage. In fact, Gracie Fields, very famously, was on the tram during the mega movie Sing As We Go, way back in the 1930s. A suggestion, of course, that in a town that's now frequented by illegals and migrants, all the money is now going to them in hotels that were once frequented, of course, by delightful holiday makers. But either way, once again, in order to accommodate one, we're losing another arm of our wonderful heritage. Now, I don't know about you, but I think this is a terrible shame, and I do hope that somebody privately could come along and try and save this, because after all, the Blackpool trams are very much part of that wonderful resort, almost as much as Blackpool Rock. Now, what do you think? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.